Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rox and I am coming to you today with a review for Cuttin in the ATL Season 1 episode, what is this, episode 6? You guys, I was frustrated with the show last night. It was not anything that I could say good about anybody on the show. It's getting increasingly hard to review this show. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop. I'm definitely going to finish with the show, but it's just like when I was watching it last night, I was just like, ugh. I don't feel like anybody was all that likable. I feel like they are making it a point to show everybody's really bad side. Everybody. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a strange episode for me last night. I'm just going to go through my notes. We're going to talk about it. Let's get to it, shall we? Okay, you guys, so the show yesterday was pretty much about the girls trying to all get back on track, start over, and try to all become friends again, you know. So, because they've had so many confrontations, it's sort of just like nobody really trusts or like the other person. So, first we had Beauty go talk to Maya, and, you know, Maya is sort of reprimanding Beauty about, you know, kind of her messiness and her always wanting to fight and be in somebody's face, and, you know, basically is not able to play the game. Like she said, fake it until you make it. Even if you don't like these people, if there's something that these people you can get out of them, okay, you know what, we might have to just act like we like them. You don't even have to like them. Act like you like them until you get what you need from them. And that's, you know, that's definitely a business-minded way of thinking. You know, people that probably don't have that way of thinking or are more emotionally controlled and kind of wear their heart on their sleeve and kind of react to just whatever happens to them, yeah, them might not be the most successful people business-wise. So, you know, it's a good thing that Maya and Beauty are trying to work it out. I like the fact that Maya is still willing to work with her. Maya has a tad bit like a condescending feel to her. So when she's talking to Beauty, you know, and Beauty is just like, well, you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be Beauty. I'm gonna do what Beauty do. The show makes Maya seem like she knows that she's above everybody. I mean, I think we probably might feel the same way sometimes. I think that she's, you know, way more established in her business, or has made the most money in her business than the rest of the girls. So you can see that part. So it's kind of hard to decipher if she really is just because she's so business focused. Is this what it is, or is she just like a kind of a, you know, almost a snob? I don't really, you know what to call this today. And then we have Mushia, you guys. Mushia is, you know, she has stolen Beauty's hair client. Now, you guys, you know, a lot of times when people, like, I'm loyal to my hairstylist and I'm not going to anybody, even when I feel like my hairstylist didn't quite do my hair exactly like the way I wanted her to do it, that doesn't make me decide to go jump and see somebody else. If it's so easy for me to just leave my stylist and go to somebody else, well, then that means that I either had a problem with that stylist, it was time for me to go, I was ready to go. It shouldn't be that easy for you to be pulled away from your stylist. So Mushia may have, you know, Beauty may feel like Mushia stole her client, but you can't steal clients. They ready to go, that's what they do. So she goes to Mushia, and let's have this discussion about Mushia and this natural hair and the damn salon and all of that. Now, I told you guys when I went to the viewing party and all the girls there had, not all of them, but a lot of them there had the natural hairdo and, you know, all these exotic styles and all. It's interesting to me that she does natural hair weaves and wigs, and it looks like maybe it might be more wigs than weaves. Like, I don't even know exactly what it is, but it looks like maybe it's both. She does sell the hair, the extension hair, but it's like when I think about people in the natural hair community, they are so anti-weave, period. They have a problem with perms and, you know, the things that all are supposed to be damaging to your hair. And even if you have natural hair weaved into your head, the shit can still be damaging. And with any weave, you need to take care of it. But even if you are the most careful, I mean, weaves put extra strength, extra stress on your hair. You've got to braid your hair up. You're getting hair sewn to your hair. I don't care how heavy or light the hair is. It still can be damaging. So it's interesting to me that Mushia has this natural hair extensions. Like, I want the people out there who actually do the whole natural hair thing, I want you guys to tell me your feelings on this, okay? Because we still pretty much haven't seen her, like, we've seen her natural hair when she doesn't have her wigs on. She has a short you know, cute little afro with the twist or whatever. But I still haven't really seen her do anybody else's hair, and I guess that's because you can't, like, if I have a head full of permed hair, I just can't tomorrow decide that I'm gonna go natural. So maybe they try to transition people to going natural by putting in this natural hair while your hair grows out, and maybe eventually you'll get the big chop, and you know, then you can start with virgin untreated hair and go from there. But it's just interesting. And then when I hear people, I just don't know why we just have to down any hairstyle. I mean, if I choose to wear weave or perm my hair, I mean, that shouldn't be any mark against me, just like it shouldn't be, you know, if you want to wear your hair in a natural state, then I shouldn't have a problem with that either. It's all in what people want. So whenever people are just so totally against one and like theirs is the way, then that's when I start to have like a little issue. So, you know, I don't know, just natural hair people out there, y'all tell me what you think about that. But yeah, Mushia has the girl, and she's just explaining to her how, you know, she's her natural texture and how much she's gonna love it and all. And I suppose Mushia is going to, you know, damn her. That's what they call it. So we'll talk about the rest of this in a minute, okay? Now, this art show, Maya invited all the girls with the exception of Deidre. I don't understand why exactly Maya is so upset with Deidre and not necessarily Beauty, when both Beauty and Deidre were fighting. She was in between them. It was sort of like, you know, I don't understand. Like, I feel like we've almost missed part of the story. Like, they've edited some shit out, because Maya to me seems like she's too upset with Deidre. And I say that because she like calls her all these like horrible things. I mean, she just calls her crazy, and you know, this fighting barracuda and all of that. So I was just like, oh, this is strange. I'm not understanding why she's all the way there. She's taken in LaKenya as a mentor, and that's another thing, you know, kind of a slight at Deidre. It's just, yeah, I guess again, it's just odd to me, but whatever. When Beauty is there, Beauty / Mushia's client is there, and she is proudly sporting her new natural hairstyle, and you guys, the shit was horrible. Like, it was just, it didn't look like it had any shape to it. It looked like they had literally took the hair out of a bag. First of all, it didn't look like it was human hair, but maybe it was. But it looked like that it was clip-ins, and that they just clipped some shit in. They done did little gel up here, I mean, you know, and tried to like, but it wasn't blending. It didn't have any shape to it. It didn't look like it was cut or layered in any kind of way. I felt bad for the girl, because, you know, they were just talking about the hair so bad. Beauty was just like, what the fuck is this? Maya was just like, it looks bad. And, you know, the girl's kind of just standing there like, and after they had then finished pulling her apart, she was just like, ugh, I'm leaving, you know. And they're like, no, don't leave. What the fuck, you want me to sit up here looking crazy? When I left the house, I thought I looked pretty good, you know, but it didn't look good. And I will admit that when I went to the viewing party, those girls' hair did not look like that. Like, they, you know, but then it was also dark. But I really, when I look at them people, that hairstyle that she had didn't look shit like what I saw represented at the viewing party. So it was weird, okay? And then when Mushia got there, she was all like, oh, it looks so good. And I was just like, Mushia, now you know that don't look good. I didn't get it at all. It just seemed like it was not a product of Mushia or her salon. But they get into this whole confrontation about her stealing the client, and also, you know, Beauty is very upset with Mushia still from what happened last week. So it's like looking like this confrontation is trying to brew up, and then lo and behold, here comes Deidre. Now, she ain't been invited, so Deidre has come on her own accord. LaKenya takes it upon herself to try to be the middleman and try to be the peacekeeper, and you know, I don't know if the shit is sincere or not, but I'm just like, LaKenya, don't, you know, everybody grown here. Everybody can talk for their fucking selves. We don't need nobody to be going back and forth, you know, she said this, oh, then you should talk to her, and you should, no, we're not doing this. If I want to talk to somebody, I know exactly how to do it. And evidently Deidre had sent an email to Maya. Maya ignored it, but Deidre seems to be only interested in maybe trying to mend the friendship with Maya. It looks like she's pretty through with Beauty and Mushia now. So now that Deidre has come in, well, the focus is now off of Mushia and Beauty's problems, and now everybody's got like this problem with Deidre being there. And it felt like a gang up situation. And it just seemed so high school and catty and young. You know, they looking at her from across the room and she kind of looking back at them. And, you know, everybody saying their little smart remarks and everything. I was just like, yeah, this is not making me like anybody. Okay, all the things that everybody was saying, it was just really working on my nerves. And I was just like, yeah, this is not the best scene right here. And nothing gets resolved because Maya doesn't go over there to talk to Deidre. Deidre doesn't go to talk to Maya. And the other girls, are, you know, it's just once when it looked like Beauty and Deidre was about to have a confrontation. Another funny thing about Deidre is the fact that because she's so used to being in these type of situations, confrontations with other women, that bitch be quick on the draw. Okay, so when she was walking out and Beauty was like, bye Deidre, and she was like, bye Patricia. Oh my God. That shit was funny to me, you guys, because it got Beauty so off. It caught her. Whenever you can get a good read in, whenever you can catch somebody off that game and they don't have no quick comeback, okay, you automatically won. So that shit was funny to me, you know, and all Beauty could say was like, oh, you know my real name was just like Patricia though. And then next, you guys, this whole thing with LaKenya again, like I said, her trying to be this in-between person. She is sort of forcing herself to look like she is riding the fence, kind of a backstabber, playing both sides. Like she'll be over here kikiing it up with these girls, and then she also will be over here talking to Deidre. I don't think that she's being truthful with Deidre's side, okay? Now she's saying things to us in the confessionals because her whole thing is she just wants to open her salon, and we ain't saying shit about what clients you got or who the fuck gonna be paying for this salon and all of that, but whatever. But you know, her going over there to talk to Deidre, and Deidre got a problem with the fact that she's over there with them girls. And I guess if I was Deidre, I would have a problem with it too, because like, what the fuck is it? Just tell me what exactly is going on here, because do I have to start feeling like you over there giggling and talking about me too? You know, I just don't know how I would feel about it. You know, her senses are aware now, like, okay, something is a little bit off, but I think she's still trying to stay loyal to LaKenya. I think Deidre now, she's just sort of like, oh, now it's all these girls now. They done pulled in LaKenya as well. So Deidre goes and talks to her medium, Hecka. I was just like, oh, you know, black people don't like when you go talking to folks that be reading your poem and, you know, mediums and shit like that, honey. You take it to the Lord in prayer is how we do it. So I was just like, oh, okay, well, this is interesting. But this is my time when I am going to say, I told you so. Okay, so I have told you guys that Deidre is not my favorite person. She is not a person that I think that I would be friends with, because I think that she's mean. And the aunt has said it. Now we got this lady Hecka, who before she told us all these things about Deidre, Deidre was saying that, you know, she always goes to this person for advice because this person knows her well and, you know, always steers her in the right direction and yada, yada, yada. And she sits down with Hecka, and Hecka was just like, yeah, you the problem, because you don't want to solve anything. You got all this pride, you got this ego, and you don't never, you know, you just, I mean, basically, bitch, you mean. And that's exactly what I said last week. And you guys were all in the comments and saying I was being too hard on her. Look, I'm not being hard on Deidre. I'm just telling you. I mean, I understand. I get it. I understand why she's the way she is. She's had bad experiences and she don't trust women, whatever. But the end result is still she's mean. Okay, you know, you're not gonna never have a relationship with anybody if you are not willing to try to make it work. You know, I think people get into these where shit go bad with 1 or 2 or 3, 4 people, and then they write off everybody else. Okay, everybody is not like that. Maybe it's something in you that attracts that same kind of person, the same kind of messy, backstabbing, conniving, you can't trust them kind of woman. But I still feel like when you are just, I mean, who wants to go through life being always by themselves and never being able to really trust anybody? And there's just certain things that my husband, I value having friendships with my my girlfriends. And then, you know, and so it's just like a whole bunch of shit. But yeah, the Hecker was telling her all of this, and you know, Deidre was getting pissed. Like, you know, she was sitting there. I can tell that it was hard for her to listen to. But the Hecker was just like, yeah, that's on you. As long as you stay the way you are never going to have any quality friendships. Now we'll get back to Deidre and in a minute. Let's talk about Maya on a date with Stevie Baggs Jr. He is the guy that owns the Dream Cafe. Remember I was telling you guys about the place that Jocelyn and Stevie had met up at on Love and Hip Hop ATL. And I wrote my dream on the wall over on Peter Street. Okay, well, he owns that place. I met him. He's a friend of my friend, and yeah, he is a good looker. He didn't look all that good on the show last night. His head looked like it was strangely shaped. But I'll tell you what, Brother Man is very fine in person, has a really nice body, and seems to be like a really nice guy. But anyway, she goes on a date with him, and you know, we kind of get the idea that since she's had her divorce, she hasn't really had much male contact, so it's sort of like in between trying to have a business conversation with him and, you know, just like trying to maneuver like, ooh, he is fine, and child, I might jump on top of him across this fucking table. You know, it was cute enough. I don't know if I believe really in real life if they were dating or not, but, you know, it was cute enough for the show. And you know, we'll see if we see more of him on the show. But I want to talk more about when she goes to the doctor and is trying to see about her fertility and trying to talk about having a baby. So she's 41 years old and she's just, you know, trying to see what her options are. And so the doctor is asking her, like, well, what are you going through? Like, what is going on in your life? I see you take, you know, anti-anxiety medication. She says, yes, I'm very stressed. Now this is where we start to understand that her divorce was really, really bad. And it looked like it's fucked her mental up a little bit. And, you know, it's taken some time for her to get back on track. And I felt sorry for her because, you know, she was just like, you know, a lot of times with people that are super successful or somebody who has just like this vision of exactly what their life is going to be, when the shit don't go that way, it just kind of fucks them up because it's just like, all I saw for my life was this, and this. You know, it's hard for people to get back on track. That's kind of how I feel about Maya. So she's put all her energy into her business and she's kind of neglected the social part of her life and her romantic life. And I mean, she hasn't been divorced that long, but it's definitely time to start trying to get back in the saddle, especially if you want to have a baby. I mean, you're 41 years old. That shit is, you know, it's hard to get pregnant. The older you get, the harder it is. Except for Tammy, obviously. Yeah, I'll tell you that Tammy, Charlie. Every time I think about it, I just be like, In this case, you know, she was crying when she was talking to the doctor. I felt real bad for her. You know, I don't like to really see people cry. And then that was the first time, really, that I felt like anybody on this show seemed human. Okay, and that there was a little bit more dimension to them, and they not just some old, you know, because they just seemed like they so catty and so ugh, including Maya sometimes. So yeah, that was a good thing to see. But yeah, I'm a wonder what exactly she is going to do, if she's really going to, you know, pursue maybe some type of in vitro fertilization, or we'll see what goes on with that. But that was the only time that I felt like anybody on this show was fucking human. And then lastly, getting back to Deidre, so she goes and calls Mushia and is just like, okay, she's trying to do what Hector has told her to do, and, you know, try to reach out the olive branch of friendship, come meet Mushia halfway, and maybe they can try to fix some things that she has said. So I think that was very big of Deidre. It is hard for people like that to swallow up whatever they have been feeling like deep-seated issues and, you know, try to make it work. So she calls Mushia. You know, Mushia tells her husband like, oh, she's invited me out, and the husband was just like, you shouldn't go. But Mushia is just like, no, I'm gonna go. If she comes correct, then it's gonna work out just fine. But I have to say, like, Mushia couldn't have gone to that meeting with that type of thinking, because it seems like from the minute that she walks in, I didn't feel like Deidre's walls was up. When Mushia sits down, you know, she just sort of like, yeah, what's up? Like, what you got? What we talking about? And, you know, Deidre starts off like, yeah, I felt bad about the shit that I said, you know, about Africa, because I do have some African friends, which did kind of have that I'm white, but I have black friends thing. But still, you knew what she was trying to say. And Mushia, instead of just being like, well, girl, I mean, you know, I just wish that people wouldn't say things like that. Okay, instead she goes, well, why? Because you sounded stupid? Okay, let me tell you what. Again, when I'm a grown woman and you a grown woman, okay, I don't want people to ever talk to me condescendingly. Okay, that will change me up very, very quickly. I'm easy to talk to, and if people explain to me how they felt, then I can, you know, I can usually be like, okay, I understand what you're saying. However, if you tell me that I'm stupid, yeah, okay, it's fixing to be on, especially for somebody like Deidre, who we know don't have, you know, who this shit is hard for her to begin with. Why would Mashia go if she was gonna be in this way? Okay, so she was just like, it was just her chance to get back at Deidre. It was just not let's try to see if we can resolve this. So then, of course, Deidre calls her ignorant, and then, you know, they start arguing, and it's just like, then, of course, Mashia is just sort of like, I'm done with it, I'm leaving. So it was just like a busted time, but it might be a cultural difference. And I've had conversations with, you know, some of African friends as well as other American women. Sometimes when you speak with African women, and this is the same with even Caribbean women, because my best friend, her family they're Belizean. I've told you guys before. And if I was super sensitive, the way the aunts and shit talk to you, I mean, I would be hurt. Okay, but I'm not sensitive, and plus I've been around them for years, but they're always just real hard and direct and straight to the point. It ain't all this glossing over or shit. It was just, that's what they were. And so I don't know if in this case, if we are just seeing Mashia and getting this feel that she is just a little bit more straight to the point, or if she is indeed someone who thinks that her shit don't stink and that she can just kind of talk to everybody any old kind of way. Now, when I met her, she didn't seem like that. I mean, we weren't in a kind of, you know, environment where it would be any reason for her to act that way. I mean, she was very nice to everybody. I saw her hugging everybody and walking around and doing all this. So it couldn't very well also be made for TV. But again, it doesn't make you look all that good when you just talk to people any old kind of way, and it makes it look like that she is just thinking it's her way or the highway, like nobody else's feelings or what their opinions even matter. So yeah, y'all, that was it. The show last night, yeah, nobody was my favorite. Didn't really like anybody on the show. I don't know how many episodes is, you know, left, but yeah, I think last night almost made me over it. Let me get off of here. You guys make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.